What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Down South Adventures. Now, I'm over here at Jeffrey's, and we're doing some work on a couple, well, I say we, he's doing all of it. But anyway, so one of the things he's always needing out here in the garage is a way to read codes off of vehicles. So, Jeffrey, what are we working with today?
So today we have the Thinkcar Thinkscan 672.
All right.
So tablet style code reader.
Stay tuned. All right, we're gonna pop this thing open. This will be my first tablet style code reader.
Nice little carrying bag.
Nice.
Basically a...
Oh, I like the color. Look, it won me over with that desert tan on the back. Nice. So what is in there? So, international power supply. Oh, so you've got basically, if you need to power this thing up on any continent, you got it. You push them down.
Oh.
Gotcha. Nice.
And standard USB.
Yep.
So, and we go USB to USB-C. So we should have a C charger port. And our OBD2 connection. And a manual.
So is this thing powered, or does it get the power from the OBD?
It should be powered.
And so I guess that's what that's for, is a charger.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
And most of these will charge off the OBD. If the battery's dead, you get your power off the car. So you're never dead in the water.
Gotcha. So what is it about the tablet style? You know, I know where you work and every other mechanic I've ever seen, they always have these tablet styles versus the little handhelds that I'm used to holding. So what is it about tablet you guys like? It's easier to see?
So a typical handheld scanner is just going to tell you the code. It's going to say, hey, this car has a P0420 code.
Yep.
And that's all the information it's going to give you. From there, it's up to you to do the other diagnostic work. With a tablet style, they have diagnostic tools built in.
Gotcha.
So I can scan system functions, some of the higher end stuff. I can activate the speedometer. I can activate power windows. There's a lot more you can do from the scanner.
So if this is your job, these are more important to have then.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty satisfying.
Oh yeah.
I'll be honest, I missed it. It was pretty far away, but it's fine.
So from here, we're gonna have to plug into the car. And
guys, we don't have anything with a code on, but we can at least pull it up to see what all the functions are on this thing. Nice.
So this is basically a 7-inch tablet.
Yeah, nice. Let's go plug it in, check it out. And honestly, it looks like it's built good.
Like it feels solid.
It doesn't. Oh, it really does feel solid. Like I was expecting it to feel cheesy, but you can see there are metal components here, hard rubber,
corner bumpers
slip on the corner. So yeah.
And everything's above the screen, so if you do drop it.
Oh, nice. It gives you that bumper protection. I see what you're talking about now. Nice.
So we'll plug the cord up.
We're going to be looking at tank today. Weirdly, there's no lights on, but let's see what info we can get. And so you can see he's just plugging in down there. Man, how long have these OBD ports been in cars now? Since the 90s?
1996.
96.
It was standardized. So I am charging off the car.
Nice.
So just from the home screen, 11.88 volts. We can read the VIN.
Well, that's a pretty cool screen.
There we go.
That's us. So this thing picks up quick versus a lot of the others take a while.
So we have a 16-pin data link. We're in USA.
Guys, I'll be honest, we tested another code reader today And I can tell you, this is way faster.
So this is just going through everything that it can read and seeing what the car has or what the car doesn't have. So of course we have airbags, we have ABS brakes,
Yeah.
we have a transmission control module, we have an engine control module. We cannot monkey around with the instrument cluster. It doesn't have electronic power steering. It doesn't have powertrain integrated motor assist, so it's not a hybrid. So let's go.
You're looking at the what, ECM?
ECM. So if check engine light, you're going to be in engine control module
Gotcha.
90% of the time.
There's 0 codes.
0 codes. 38 different data streams supported.
But so this one, like,
So let's go to read live data.
okay. I'm just gonna crank it up and let it go.
So these are all the different live data modules that we can read. So
Quite a bit.
in terms of diagnosing something, if you have a speedometer that's not working, you can open the vehicle speed sensor and say your speedometer is not working, and you need to know if it's something in the cluster versus the speed sensor in the transmission.
Mm-hmm.
You can change it over here to read the data stream on the speed sensor. If it's reading on the speed sensor, then you probably have a problem with your cluster.
Gotcha.
Versus if it comes up and you're going down the road, you feel like you're going 30 mile an hour, but your speed sensor is saying 0, you probably need to look toward the speed sensor.
So overall, anything that you're really looking for.
So let's go to absolute throttle position, and you can do multiple commands at one time, and engine RPM.
So he's gonna go absolute throttle position. We're just gonna watch this thing read some live data. Engine RPM. And so right there you can see. So when he hits the gas, watch those RPMs rise. So guys, we don't have a code to read, so it's pretty boring, but basically, I mean, Jeffrey, with this, you can pretty much read anything you need, right? I mean,
you need the car. Instead of just standard OBD mode, where you can read codes and clear codes, this has a automatic VIN detector, so it's going to automatically identify your car, the year, make, model, and specific vehicle information for that car. And we go into diagnose mode, so this is all your different, basically the same thing, except you manually enter your vehicle.
gotcha.
Basic OBD2 mode, which is like your handheld scanners. Your history, so it's going to save all of your reports. So
That's cool.
As a mechanic in a garage, you could go out, read the car in the parking lot, bring your scanner back inside.
And you have all that.
Maybe
history.
you've got a car tied up on your bay, but you want to start on the diagnosis of another project. So you can take this to the car, read everything you need to read, save that data, and bring it back in.
Gotcha. And have it all here.
Or take it and present it to the customer.
Yeah. So they can see proof is in the pudding. This is what it's
Yep.
saying is wrong.
So, and then we have dollar fixed community.
That's an app that a lot of these OBD2 scanners use. It's kind of a neat app, but you do have to log in, create a profile, and all that stuff.
They have their own feedback, so you can add feedback into here.
Gotcha.
And then if you save a diagnostic report, here's where it can be viewed. And we have the element.
Don't think there's any data.
And we didn't
No
save any data.
And so, what are the when you go back to the main screen? What are the three lines here? So same stuff.
The same stuff.
Same thing. All right. So I mean, honestly, guys, some of these, like, what do like the Snap-on and Matco tablets cost? I mean, aren't they thousands?
I would say the top of the line Snap-on scanners, $10,000.
And guys, this thing is less than $300. And I mean, honestly, I'm impressed with the way it feels and the look of it. The user interface seems easy and self-explanatory. The one thing that we need to do with it is when you have something that does this much ABS bleeding, I mean, wow.
So a lot of these new cars, if you have to replace a caliper or something, you have to bleed the ABS pump, not just a standard brake bleed. This scanner will activate the ABS bleed procedure.
Oh, wow.
I know a lot of Volkswagens, Audis, and stuff like that, you have to have a scan tool.
Is that a turbo that I'm looking at?
That is a water pump.
Okay. I thought I was looking at a turbo.
So
look, guys, tell me it don't look like a turbo too.
So, DPA, you can set a diesel to regen.
EGR adaptation.
Yep. After you've cleaned an EGR valve. So this is all the things that you can activate in the car.
Gotcha.
Gear learning, relearn crank position sensors.
Wow.
So, like relearn crank position sensor, that Colorado motor right there. The reason it's out is it needed timing chains. So when I put that motor back in, I'm going to have to relearn the crank and cam.
Gotcha.
So I can perform a crank and cam relearn with this scanner.
Badass. So guys, seriously, you know, I know when you see stuff like this on Amazon, you're like, it's too good to be true, but this feels like a quality item. It doesn't feel cheap.
The touch is great on it. Like, it feels good. It works.
Yeah. So again, you can even adjust your tire size. You know, as you get bigger wheels and tires, it can put your
window calibration. So if you have a auto up down window, you can calibrate your auto up down stop points.
Wow. All right, so guys, you can see this is not just a regular code reader. This is so much more. So I'm going to show you guys the box again. This is the Thinkscan 672. Very, very happy with this. The one thing that we didn't do that you'll need to, anytime you have something that has this much information, it's gonna have to have a software update when you get it. So we've still got to do that with this one, but you could see even without the update, we were still able to do a lot of things. So definitely check these guys out. The brand is Thinkcar, and they have tons of these. And I actually think we're gonna do a review for another one that uses some artificial intelligence. So can't wait to show you guys that one. As always, guys, thank you for watching. Let us know what you think of the Thinkcar 672 in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Say bye, Jeffrey.
See you guys.